am I logged in? Yes. Get started. Let's see if I'm streaming. Yeah, looks like I am. Perfect. You can see that I watched some Simple Programmer stuff, so I might as well tweet out quick that I'm streaming again. Oh, it's not really Ludum Dare. I'll just put this under random. So I'm not sure what happened. I listened to some of my streams from the weekend. Well, I only did really... Who is watching me already? That's not even possible. It's probably just me. Oh, and it still said Ludum Dare. Dumb thing. So this is not Ludum Dare Game Jam stuff. I don't know why it still tweeted that stupid thing. Anyways, let's take that off. So that was the last time I streamed Ludum Dare 36 as the start, and then I totally got depressed in the middle of it, as often is the case when you don't actually come up with an idea. So you're probably wondering what happened. So, or maybe not. If you ended up watching or listening the first night, I had this whole idea about a like an IT guy from the 80s working, and I don't know, that just basically fell through. So what I ended up doing, I started about 12 hours before the end of the, let me just really quick get some stuff up here. It started about 12 hours before the end of the game jam on a different idea. Well, the night before I kind of tinkered a little bit, and it's an idea that I had, so it wasn't like an original one during the actual game jam itself, but it's something that I had been interested in doing for some time, and so I went down that path, and it actually turned out pretty friggin' awesome. At least I thought it turned out pretty friggin' awesome. So, let me, you know what, I probably have, it's probably in this stuff folder, an executable. And you'll probably get some music. So, of course, the music is pretty, is all original, because that's the way this stuff works. So, what I did is created something called Minesweepin' Miner Deluxe, which is just a stupid name because I don't really know what to call it. But the idea is to take Minesweeper. And Minesweeper is, a pretty simplistic game. I don't even think I have it. I don't think it comes with Windows by default anymore. It used to. But I should probably turn that down. It's probably overpowering. Well, no, probably not for you. Anyways, so Minesweeper, the idea behind it is it's a logic puzzle game, right? So you basically uncover blocks or whatnot. And I'll just turn that down on my side. That'll help. You uncover blocks, and based on some sort of value, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, you know that's how many mines are adjacent to a particular area. And so the idea is, sorry, my phone buzzed. The idea is that take that Minesweeper field, and instead of having it just be this kind of puzzly block thing, make that into an actual terrain that your character plays on. So the idea for me was, well, Minesweeper mining game, who has combined these two things before? And so that's what this is. So the ancient technology theme I kind of pulled in and said, okay, the ancient technology was hidden in underground underneath your feet. And I don't really give backstory as to why, but here it is hidden underneath there, and you basically have to dig it up. But there were also these mines that were also buried. And so you need to basically dig down, avoid the mines. Luckily, you have some sort of a thing that tells you what, I don't know. It doesn't have to make sense. I could probably make it make sense if I actually played it out, but why don't I just play and give you kind of an idea here. So you're this guy, and you can see my lovely animation. Didn't get time to actually end the world, although I did get collision detection on the edge. There's no jumping or anything as I'm smashing the spacebar, but down arrow will dig down, and then you're in. So this first layer, I put no mines in there whatsoever. Because the reason why is that nothing's worse than, you know, mining down for the first time and hitting a bomb and being like, what the heck just happened? So as you can see, all of these ones right here, any adjacent, even the corners, will not have any bombs attached to them, for sure. That's the way this works, right? So these ones, all guaranteed below me, do not have it, because these four, so that, you know, this is Minesweeper. Now this one right below me right now, where I'm at, this one has to have a bomb underneath it. Why? Because this one right here is adjacent to this one right here, at least kitty corner to it, right? And if I were to dig down on it, then you'd get a bomb. So just to kind of demonstrate, boom, you died because you dug up a mine and died. So there was guaranteed. So it's a logic puzzle, right? Because those three ones kind of point to the fact that, hey, there is a mine right there. Now you start over and you go. So my strategy to kind of win is to first just dig out this first layer and find out what's the best path to go down. Now, all of these adjacent nothings are good. So then I go down to second, clear out everything I know can't be. Now, what I'm guessing is there's one right below me right now. And then I know that these ones are all clear. Now, these ones here, there's probably one right below this one, which I've just basically almost guaranteed there. There's nothing there or there, and there's nothing on all the three of these. Now, you can see that I kind of made this like grid thing, because I'm like, well, how is this miner being able to go up and down like this? Oh yeah, he builds these platforms that he can kind of just jump around. Now, all of the ones that are blank are pretty obvious. That one's clear, that one's clear, that one's clear. That one's clear, that one's clear, that one's clear. But when you get like one, well, this one below me right now, or to the right of me, is clearly, you know, dead, is clearly a bomb, whatever. So now this one is used up. So everything adjacent to that one is clearly not a bomb. So yeah, so that's, you know, that's Minesweeper in a nutshell, right? If you play the traditional game, that's how you play it, is you use these kind of logical, well, this one is adjacent to this one, which means, you know, this can't be it. Now, like, for instance, this one for sure is 1. This one is for sure 1. The one next to it right here is, and this one because of that one. So that 2 is spent up, which means the one in the middle, the one that's kitty cornered to 2 here is not 1. But I don't know what is the other 2 on this side then. So there's really no safe path there. There's really no safe path here either. 2, 2. So let's go over here. Okay, clearly that's not. And so that one is 2. So this is kind of a bad map. Now, one of the downsides to what I did was I didn't have time to actually make sure every map just had kind of a general, can I get to the bottom thing? So now I think I've hit one of the maps where I'm in a guessing game, which is true. So I'm just going to take an edge. Never mind, I died. So that was a bad gamble. That kind of situation makes for bad games, because you want to make it so that people, if they follow the rules and they do it, they don't have to just guess and die, right? They want to give them the ability to figure their way out. Now, if I had enough time, what I would have done, and remember, I only really started this 12 hours prior to playing, or the end of the jam, is or the compo really is what I should call it. What I would have done is probably gone through and made sure that every map is basically winnable. There's some path from the upper field down that will guarantee that I'll get to where I want to go. So that would be a good thing for me to go through. But so I actually beat this game for the first time the other day, and I was pretty darn excited about it, because it actually isn't that easy. I mean, it's easy if you just sit and be careful and follow the rules. What's not easy about it is the fact that you just want to keep going. And it can get very difficult to kind of, wean yourself back and say, okay, I need to I need to stop taking risks here and actually play the game. Now, I know somewheres in it there is a now you might be wondering, well, what's the point of the game now, right? Because with Minesweepers, to actually uncover all of the mines, or to determine where all the mines are, which, yeah, that's Minesweeper, right? That's how you play Minesweeper. But that's not the point of this game. The point is to find the ancient technology. So how do you do that? So basically what I did is I put in a logical inconsistency around the mine, or the actual ancient technology itself. So what you have to do is basically dig out and find, okay, where is this ancient technology using, well, let's say I encountered a 2 in the cell that I'm on right now. That would make no sense because I've already dug out every adjacent one, and this shouldn't be a 2. This should be a 1 because there's a mine right below me here. So that kind of logical inconsistency is how you determine what the where the ancient treasure technology or whatever it is, which is it ends up working out pretty well. And it kind of goes along the narrative that you're using some sort of radiation or whatever, and the radiation's too strong around the actual thing itself. So, yeah, that's kind of how you have to play it. So this one's clearly not it, as is any of these, as is any of these. So yeah, a lot of it is just kind of going through your terrain and figuring out. Now, I wondered, if you were to expand on this, what kind of game would you get? That's kind of an interesting thought. I'm not really sure. I did put in temporarily, I'm like, well, Minesweeper, you kind of dig and it kind of unveils anything that has a number adjacent to something. I did actually try putting that element in for a little while, and it did not work out. It was actually very kind of it was actually really not that fun, because it just dug it out for you automatically, and it was like, well, that's not cool. So I took that element out, but it is in the source code to do that. So that was really kind of a dead end there. So I got to find a different way to dig down that doesn't involve so all 3 of those are for sure. One thing I thought about doing is so in Minesweeper you can actually kind of like paint blocks and say, okay, this block, or flag them, say this particular block is clearly a mine. And what that would give you then is also a way to say that, okay, if I run into this thing by accident, don't actually blow it up or whatever. So that one, and that one is clear. That one is not exactly clear. So I might have gotten to a box again where I don't know. Okay, so this one's clear. That one right here is clear. So this one below me is right here, which means this one's not. So this is where the kind of fun comes in, is you have to, okay, there's a lot, of stuff. Is there any sort of logical conclusions I can draw from this particular scenario that I'm in? That can actually advance me through the level. Whoa, my monitor just decided to shut off for a second there. Sorry. So, I'm not sure what I've got here. Okay, so if this one is one here, and this one is adjacent to that, that means that one's clear. But that's all I can gain from that. This one clearly is, this one is, that one's adjacent. Okay, this one's clearly adjacent to that, which means these ones are... Oh, now I found a pocket, which is good. Anytime you find these kind of like pockets, it's good. Which that one's clearly. This one's only attached to one, which has to be the one above me, so... Ah! Damn it! Shoot. So yeah, that's the game. Clearly it can be a bit of a struggle. That kind of sucked. I got pretty far though. So anyways, eventually what you do is you find this disc and then there's just this kind of end sequence and you win. But so that's it. I had a lot of fun making it, I think, in the last few hours I had. The rest of the time, it was really, really just like, oh, what am I gonna do? This feedback friends thing, I haven't gotten involved in it as much as I would expect. You know, it's really, I don't know. Like having an actual score for yourself is a lot more of a motivator. I think I've maybe rated one game, and thank you to the person who actually did rate my game here. Or not rate, comment on it. I commented on another game, but yeah. So that's kind of fun. I don't know if I'd really build it out anymore. It's been kind of I don't know. So. Anyways, so I also used this thing called Cold Steel, which I've rewritten for like the third time, which is every time I rewrite it, it's like, oh, this would be cool to do it this way, and then I rewrite it. And, you know, that sounds really dumb and boring and stuff, but I just really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. But one of the things I've been really going back and forth on, and one of the things that I've been really just kind of thinking about lately, and I've had this idea for years. So there was a game called, not a game, it never really made it to the game state. It was 0x10C. It was this kind of brainchild of Notch, who created Minecraft. And basically what it had in it was an in-game CPU, like it was called the DCPU, and it had its assembly language, and it was basically an actual emulated chip that existed on this spaceship, and it would control your ship and everything like that, which was really, really cool, the concept, and there was a lot of buzz going around it, and then he just kind of abandoned it, which, you know, I don't really care. You know, he's got his own life. I don't, you know, I've been in so many projects. I don't understand how people stay committed to one for very long. But anyways, so he started this, and I really like that idea of having this kind of real deep engineering in a game, and where you're actually doing programming, but the programming isn't just like to control the game. It's not really fake. It's really a core element to the gameplay, and I've really wanted to just figure that out and bring that into a game, which I think would be just cool. I'm not really sure how to get the gameplay elements going, but what I want to do is actually get it so that, you know, I love the idea of building just like my own CPU and learning, doing the opcodes and things like that. And I've gone back and forth on this so many times, and I'm back to it again. And you know, when you keep hearing yourself, something bubble up in your head, and then it goes away, and then it comes back, and it goes away, you think that there's probably something that you should be following. You should be doing this, right? So I was thinking last night, and it's like, man, I should really try this again. And I'm afraid that I'm going to start it like a lot of my other projects, and I'm not going to get anywhere with it. Which, if you've watched this channel for even just a little bit, I've probably had about 3 or 4 projects that I've started on and really haven't gone anywhere. But, you know, it's, I think, some of that continuous iteration. There's other things, you know, I'm really in kind of... I'm kind of in a rut for doing particular things right now. I keep looking at my freaking face, and I feel like I've got like this huge jaw out this side. What is going on? Anyways, I feel like I have got kind of a rut going on where I haven't committed to anything other than really work. I mean, Ludum Dare is a bit of a commitment, and there's obviously family and stuff like that, which I take care of. But it was when I was doing my podcast and everything, and doing more live streaming, and there was just a blogging. I did get my blog back up. I took my advice of a good friend and switched over to Jekyll. So now it's hosted out of, when you see your blog post in a single list, you can't see it, obviously. What am I doing? I gotta switch back over here. When you see your blog posts in a single list like that, it's like, wow, I have not done much. I mean, it is actually a fair number of items, but it just it's only 3 scroll wheels? Man, I'm not doing very much at all. So I feel very underwhelmed at my own personal productivity and wanting to do more. So I don't know where I'm really going with this, but if your mind's kind of telling you, hey, you got to go this way or that way, I think that's something. So why don't, I think that really sometimes you just have to start going on stuff. And I've done some research on this before, and I'm just going to kind of throw that away, and I think I'm just going to hack for fun something tonight. Maybe if it's just even kind of like a console library, or not a library, console library. I've had this idea of calling it GPIO for some reason. I have no idea why. But let's just go ahead and just kill that, throw that out there and start with it. And let's not put it in LD Sandbox. Let's just put it in projects, because we're just kind of dicking around, or joking around today. Dicking around, is that an okay thing to say? I don't really know. Is that couth? Kind of has a masculine thing to it. Why do I even care? I don't know. Anyways, so there's one thing to do with this is I would definitely want to add a test project. So I'm going to be kind of going off the cuff here, because I have this kind of some of these elements in my mind that I need to I really need to kind of work through and stuff like that, or put down so that you could actually follow along. But there are some pieces that I know I'm going to need, and I just kind of want to get them out of the way. Just because there's stuff I know I can... Oh, what the heck? Windows 8.1. No. I don't want one. What am I doing? I hate that it doesn't actually delete it, too. That bothers me. Actually delete it, please. So, I don't know if anybody can tell me this, but there's this feature I really, really want in Visual Studio. And I've had this problem lately where... and I've not something in my own code necessarily, but well, maybe. So if you were to create a base class, an abstract class, or you have some functionality in the actual base class, right? And you're going to use that functionality. Why does it keep going to? That's the second time I've done this. I thought I had the right one. But anyway, so there's some functionality in the base class. And maybe I can just right click and say, give me some tests. Nope. Initialize interactive with project. I have not seen that before. I wonder what that does. That's something for another time. But anyways, so if you're implementing a class and you've got... okay, so C#, Windows, test library. Oh, for Windows apps. Derp. I probably need to go down to test. That would probably really help me if I went to this one. Anyways, so if you got this base class and you implement it, and the problem is obviously there's no visibility into the parent class from the child, right? So you have, let's say, a parent class of animal, or no, let's say a shape, and in it you have a area calculation, and then you derive this class, and area is probably a bad one. Let's just say name. It has a name, and you derive this class, and you want to see what how name is implemented in the base class, just for visibility into the whole class as a whole. Well, if today you have to go and actually look at the base class as a separate file, and then you can come back. Well, what would be kind of cool is if there was, let's just say here, like some sort of a way where it puts in like this fake region. And I hate regions, so don't even, but it puts in this kind of faked out region where it says like, here are the implemented methods that you're not implementing, or that are implemented by the abstract parent, so that you can kind of see a holistic view of all the behavior in a class by looking just at that class and not at all the layers up to a point. Like if you're inheriting something that's someone else, maybe that's an option, it's a library type thing. Obviously, you might not have those implementations, but it's something that you yourself has written, like a library has it. Seems like it would totally make sense to do that. So anyways, back to kind of the task at hand. One of the things I need, so the idea here is that you'd be building, and I'm totally all over the map today, so this is just raw, uncensored crap. This is what I think about just at times, is the idea of a word. Is that the right term? Yeah, a word. A byte becomes a word. Yeah, right? Sorry, my mind's a little fried right now. Got off work and did a ton of mowing. It's a 16-bit word. Yeah, 16-bit word. Oh, okay. Anyways, so this word is not going to be a class, but it's going to be struct. And what I basically want is, let me just clear these out because I might not need them. I've gotten into the habit of just clearing those out lately. So I've got the idea of a word, and what it's going to be is I need it to be kind of like a union and so what a word would be in this case is a mixture of two bytes, the upper and lower byte. So, imagine that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 2 bytes that you have. This one up here would be your upper byte. So there's your upper byte and your lower byte. And so you need to have kind of like an upper, man, I'm just off tonight, I'm sorry. And lower. And maybe those, why do I have those as public? I don't know. Anyways, so this one represents the upper and this one represents the lower. I also want this to actually be implemented as a single integer, a 16-bit integer, but I want to be able to view these as, oh gosh darn it. So the place I work now uses, and I think I talked about it on my stream earlier. Oh, hello. Hey, Tabiki. How's it going? I'm surprised that you came back and watched me because I totally bailed all weekend after my initial one. Glad to have you for a little bit if you were even there for a second. I wonder still who you are. Anyways, work does tabs and I do spaces, and this is just, I gotta figure this out. Another thing that I gotta just figure out. I hope your game turned out well too. I'm not sure if you are still on or not, but your chess game or whatever it was. Be really interested to see how that turned out. Huh. Anyways, so you've got an upper byte and a lower byte, and you need this whole thing to act as one 16-bit integer or two bytes. Now, if I was doing this in C, let's just kind of take a side track here. You might have something like, oh gosh, it's been a while. And again, this would be just, this is probably not a, well, you know what, I'll just create a C file. Add new item. Let's just put in like derp.c. See if it recognizes that it's a C file. So type def struct, and let's say now you had a word, right? And it wouldn't be a word, a struct, it would be a union, I think. Man, I can't believe it's been a while. First of all, you don't use unions in C all that often. I mean, you use them like for certain things, but you don't use them all that often. And the fact that I haven't written C code in probably almost quite a while now, kind of forget how to do it. Okay, so yeah, union. What you want to do is every member in that data then becomes part one. So you would have in here a 16-bit integer, which is a short, and that would be your actual word value. And then that would be split out via a struct. Oh, how does this work? Something like that, and then you give it a name, struct blah blah blah, like bytes, I think. And so then you'd have your char upper, and then like char lower. Let's just call this value. So then this short value, when you assign it, probably put this in a project just to make sure I'm doing this right. So you would go and say, okay, I want a word of type or a word called like value, whatever. And so you could go value dot value. That's been my word. My word. My word. Anyways, and if you said, okay, this is I don't know, 1200, right? Then in my word dot bytes dot upper, you'd get the 8 bits that are actually on the upper half of this particular thing, which let's see what that is. So I think we can switch this over to a programming calculator, and we view it in let's say 1200, and we go and hello to whoever just joined the channel. We look at this in binary, right? So 1200. So your lower half would be the value below here, and this would be your upper half. So and I'm terrible at doing actual binary math. If you can do it, great, you're a calculator, I love you. They really changed this up a little bit. So 10110000 is, so your bottom half, your bottom byte would be 176 right here, as you can see, and your top half would be, well, 4, right? So put those together, oops, 10110000, you get your value, which is not right. What did I do wrong? Oh, missed an extra 0. There. So you get your 1200. So what I want to do is split out those pieces, which I know how to do with a union in C just fine, or C++, really doesn't matter. But in C#, it's not as straightforward because I don't think you've got unions. So what you have to do is something called like a there's a certain way to do byte ordering in a union, I think. Let's see, not enumeration. C++ union and C#. Whoa, hello. So it's this field offset thing. And I've seen this before. This is why I'd want to do unit testing, because I think I tried this once and I got a little bit into it, and then I'm like, well, this isn't working at all. This isn't the behavior I'd want to see. So let's just kind of following that. Let's just say we've got a public int 16, which is our value. And, you know, I never really talked a little bit why I'm doing it this way. There's a 16-bit int, right? Int, I am in... Oh, you know what, I didn't include system. Derp. That's why you don't delete that. Int 16 is the equivalent of a short. So let's just say that's our value. And then that is with field offset 0. Sure. So interop services, really, that's where that lives, huh? Why is that mad? Field offset can only be placed on members of type marked as struct layout explicit. Oh, missed a step. So this is, I think, created for the express purposes of using it with unmanaged code, which is fine. I don't care. I'll go with that. Just whatever, right? Okay, so the next thing you have is public. And because it actually does have a byte value, can you do just an int 16 without doing uppercase? Nope. So this is your upper, which now this is where it becomes like I don't really understand the behavior. This would be your 0 offset, I think. And then this one becomes your 1, or what does the field offset go by? That's a good question. Offset in bytes. So this would be 1 byte off, right? And this would be your lower. So presumably you've got upper, lower, and then the whole thing is your value. Just to make it fancy, let's go ahead and add some, you know, some stuff in here, right? La 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 la. Yeah, that's looking pretty now, right? So from there to there. From there to there. Okay, perfect. So this is how I want it to kind of lay out. So what I have to do is actually test this. Just make sure that it compiles all good. Now, Word is in a 16-bit system. You know, is a chunk of memory that's used to hold either an operation or a value or whatever. So it's going to be kind of one of the core elements of the system, right? So let's say here, Word, we're going to be calling like set value. Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's really set value. The state under test is, what would be under test? We're just going to say derp for now. I'll come up with this later. And the expected is derp. Oh, great. How did that just... I never press enter, that's why. So set value. Derp is derp. Okay. So if we've got... oh, I suppose I can add a reference to the project. So we create a new word. Okay. And why is that not happy? Oh, never used. So if I set a word equal to 1, then the value 1 should also be assigned to the lower byte. So if I go word dot lower, and if I do 0 to word dot higher, upper, that should be the case. Now, really, this needs to be assigned to the value, not the actual thing itself. Although I could override the assignment operator, right? So let's just go ahead and try that once, see what happens. Nope, it does not like that. So it expected 0 here, and it did not get that. So why didn't it get that? So this might be an endianness thing, I guess. So let's try flipping these once and see what happens. So this would be 0 here, would actually be the lower. Think about this in terms of I don't really care how we think about these things. I should call that upper lower if I'm calling it that way. Again, it's all endianness, right? Really like this being considered the upper. This one being the lower. So the upper 0, lower. Lower is 1 byte off. That was what I had before, isn't it? I must be tired. I really like squashed today. A really long running query. It was pretty awesome. It was not long running. It was relatively long running. Like it was 30 seconds or something, which was above the SQL time or the SQL Server timeout. Which yeah, it was annoying, but took care of it, wiped it off the face of the planet. Now the query's running just fine. All right, so there we go. So that worked as expected. So the trick is that apparently this right here, if you think of that as 0, or the endianness is just totally, whack. Now what if I don't put this one on there? This is the glory of having tests, right? Is you can try different things and know when you broke something. Oh, you do have to have a field set offset value. Okay. Trippy stuff going on today. Okay, so your upper's here. No. In this case, yeah, no, your upper would be here. Your lower would be there. This would be your 0 offset. So I wonder what happens if I do... I don't even know what that would mean to change that to 1. Then would my value be at 2? Kind of moving it across. I'm guessing that would be the case. Yep. So what would happen if I switched it to 1 is that the byte would go from here to the next one. So I would need to leave that the same. Cool. But that gives me the behavior that I wanted. which is perfect. Now, like I said, I would want to do is override the assignment operator, which I have not done in a while, so I think that's how it goes, right? Something like that. Let's just, this is where Googling just reminds you. It's you know, they say like, oh, you're just a copy-paste programmer to some people, but really it's, no, I'm just looking up the documentation. That's how we look up documentation. I mean, sometimes it's a lot of that. C# overload or overriding, whatever. And most of the time I just need to be reminded of the syntax. And it is operator plus, and it's static or equals, I'm assuming, is really what I'd want to do. And so you would do override, not that, static. And this would be the value to return, which would be the word itself, I think. Oh no, it's a plus. What does the assignment operator return? That was not a good one for. Wait a minute, you can't assign, what? You can't overload the assignment operator? What the flap? Oh wait, there's that in C. I'm sorry. Can't, no. Can it? No. Why do you assign something to it? Equals plus, man. That must be way out of whack. Assignment can't be overloaded. Huh. Well, go figure. Oh, now I feel like a real doofus. Here I'm going to overload the assignment operators. Yeah, you can assign 16 to this. No, you can't. Crap. That's really disheartening. Oh well, whatever. So you can actually go plus minus equals true false. Binaries plus blah 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 equals equal and or cast operator cannot be overloaded, but you can find new conversion operators. That's neato. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? And now I feel really dumb because I thought that was a way you could do it. So you can't do it that way. You should be able to cast this as a 16-bit. So let's just try that once. See if it knows how to do that. And I'm not going to really name these yet because I don't really know what I'm actually trying to test yet. Well, I do, but I don't really want to think of names. So if I go and say word dot value equals 1337, can I cast that as a 16-bit integer? And get away with it. My typing skills are just not up to par tonight. So there's no explicit conversion, is what it will say, right? Cannot convert type to short. Derp. Why didn't I think of that before? I don't have to use int16. Man. This is why the internet needs to be there to tell you you're stupid. Correct you all the time. So cannot show potential fixes. Hey, there we go. Let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. So now we can, within here, public static explicit operator short. Interesting. Static explicit operator short v. So what do you do in this case? Because there's no return value. Or is it just a setter? No. Static, so v.value. Okay, well, what happens if you assign to it then? That's a really good question. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be damned. I suppose when you cast it like that, it's actually probably creating a copy at the same time, since it's a value type. So what should happen is if I go, you can't really do it this way, can you? No, you can't, which would make sense why you could do it the other way. Okay, perfect. Yeah, awesome. Well, that's something anyways. Now what I could also do is, so you can't overload the assignment operator. What you could do is also do something like just cast, obviously cast the thing as a word, right? Word, world. Why did I write it that way? 1337. I wonder if that would do, how that would work. Can you fix that is a question. Oh. So if you get in a short, so it's not really so much, it's a casting, which is why you don't really overload the, man, I'm really learning stuff today. This is great. So, oh, return word value. Value equals v. Perfect. So really I should be able to just do, well no, I wanted to do that as a short. But I could also say short without that. Let's see if I can implicitly cast. But can I is the question. No quick action, so no, I would have to cast this like that. But I should be able to do something like word equals and that should all pass just fine. Perfect. And again, these names are not what I would want to. I'm just kind of messing around here with how does this work? But that's the kind of word I want. Something like that, where I can access the upper and lower bytes. Like I said, I could also add in, excuse me, a way to access individual bytes. So if I went and think about it as basically what I want to do is access upper byte via whatever brackets are. What would you call that operator? The array indexing operator? Now I could probably, so word equals 1337. Let's just change that to 10. And I should say assert is true. 10 should be the word at the upper byte, or the second byte, which is really just tripping me up. Come on, you should be able to do this, right? Public byte this. I wonder if there's a way you can get a type that's just one or two. I mean, Boolean is true or false, right? But still, you wouldn't go Boolean true, Boolean false. If it's 0, then I want to return the upper, otherwise lower. And that's not exactly how we'd probably want it to work, but whatever. From byte to string. Oh, what am I doing? Is true, r equal. So yeah, just playing around tonight, doing it in front of everyone, because why not? Oops. Run some tests. And access upper is the way I'd want it. Access lower. Can you convert 0 and 1 to Boolean specifically? I suppose you could have this to be something like upper. And use only enumerations for it. This would be 0 then for the lower byte, or for the first byte. Again, Indianness is really screwy, because this shouldn't be the upper. That should be right. This should be the lower byte. Well, just for the sake of it, what does 10 look like when it's the upper? 10 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And, sorry, binary. 10. Oh, shoot, what am I talking about? 10 in binary is not that at all. I should just use something that's easy. Deck is 10. To bin is that. Push it. Oh, shoot. 1, 0, 1, 0. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's push the upper here. So we would have to put deck 20560 in there, which is interesting. So if we equal this as 2560, oh, sorry, this as 2560, then this should also be 10. And we're all past, although we didn't run this one apparently. Okay, so that one's broken. Oh. Because I wasn't thinking, of course. Seriously, has anybody ever said yes to that? If they have, I'm going to really be upset with you forever. Giving credence to the notion that they should continue having that as an option. Honestly, like, the world is better off if you just got out of programming, because that is dumb. Okay, so now we're all clear. Perfect. So yeah, so this is about what I wanted for behavior here. You have an upper. I should really not call these upper and lower, you know, just to keep things sane in my brain. I should call this your right, or sorry, left, and right. So if you think about it, left and right, upper, lower, whatever, you don't have to worry so much about Indianness, right? I'll put that in here as well. Axis upper, which was your left byte, and lower, which was your right byte. Yeah. So, well, I think this is all I was going to go through. I just had to do something tonight, so thanks for joining. If you catch this later while I'm not around, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue to probably just put junk out on the internet as if it's a big tube and hope that one day maybe somebody will care. Maybe I'll say something important one day. I guess you'll just have to tune in to figure that out. Tonight I was very tired, which totally unscripted crap. You know, I'm not going to put on a great show for you. Sorry. So anyways, have a good night. Thank you. And I probably should stop the stream when I say thank you instead of pressing pause on something unrelated.